So hi everybody, I'm Matt Lieberman and I'll be presenting on marketing roles in the food industry. So first, some quick background on myself. I'm Matt Lieberman and I grew up in New Jersey. I graduated from the University of Pittsburgh in 2012 with a Bachelor of Science in Economics and a Bachelor of Arts in Urban Studies. And I'm currently an Associate Marketing Manager at General Mills on the Bisquick and Hamburger Helper brands in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And my favorite Pitt athlete is former Pitt point guard Levance Fields. So I'll start with just some information about working in the food industry in general. This is a challenging environment right now for big consumer goods companies. You have a lot of smaller, nimbler competition in many categories. So Yoplait is one of General Mills brands, and we saw a lot of market share lost due to upstart brands like Chobani and other brands entering the space. It's very easy for smaller brands to kind of gain distribution in the grocery channel and kind of challenge us. And they're smaller, they're oftentimes a lot faster. And they can kind of adapt to trends more quickly because they have less bureaucratic processes and they're just faster and leaner. They're just the smaller teams. There's also new selling channels. E-commerce is becoming much more popular in the grocery space and the food space. You have Amazon entering in a large portion, Instacart. And it's very important to stay on top of this and kind of make sure that your brands are well positioned for this e-commerce channel as more and more grocery spending shifts there. In terms of the skills, it's really important to have. You really need to be able to be empathetic and consumer first. Having that perspective is really crucial to being successful working in food. So I work on Bisquick and Hamburger Helper, and I'm not the core consumer, the consumer that really purchases most of Bisquick or Hamburger Helper. But even with that, I still need to be mindful of who those consumers are, what they care about, why they purchase our brands, and kind of make sure that all our marketing strategy and marketing tactics are catered towards them. Make sure that new product innovations are catering towards them, and being mindful of what matters to them and what they care about, so they can really make sure that we're connecting with those consumers and ensuring that they're loyal to our brands. Food is also a very trend-driven space. You see plenty of new diet and food trends popping up all the time. And as a food marketer, especially in a large company like General Mills, you need to be on top of these and kind of understand them and identify them before they hit the mainstream, because the production timeline of launching a new product takes very, very, very long. So you need to make sure that by the time your new product hits grocery shelves, this is a mainstream trend. So it's very important to stay on top of trends. We spend a lot of time reading what other brands are doing, going through consumer research and interviewing consumers ourselves to kind of understand what is really popping and new trends in the space, because the goal is to get into that space before our competitors do and kind of get that first mover advantage. Another benefit of working in food is just there's a lot of different brands to work on with different consumers. So at General Mills, we have a ton of different brands. You can see a sampling of them at the bottom. We have Larabar, we have Haagen-Dazs ice cream, Nature Valley granola bars, all the cereals, Honey Nut Cheerios, Chex, Trix, Yoplait yogurt. And as an associate marketing manager, you rotate about once a year, so you get a lot of different variety over the course of several years. And it's a great opportunity to just keep your work varied and also identify and empathize with different consumers. And this skill set is very valuable as you move up in food marketing. I'm now going into a little detail about life as an associate marketing manager. So I realize it's called marketing manager, but it's very much a general management position. At General Mills, marketing serves as the hub of the wheel, basically. So we have a large say in managing cross-functional teams, and we work across a wide variety of teams, from sales to finance to research and development to operations, and we kind of oversee a lot of projects that touch upon different functions. You can kind of think as a marketing manager as a CEO of a brand within a larger company. And we're responsible for growing our businesses, making sure that top line, bottom lines look good and are growing, running the brand on a day-to-day basis, so setting sales projections, making sure that we're producing enough, managing all of that, and leading teams. These are the cross-functional products I'm talking about, making sure that serving as a liaison, communications between teams, also just leading teams in general, making sure that everyone has proper direction and insight in terms of managing their own functions. And my current role is I'm a base associate marketing manager on Bisquick, and I manage HMM on Helper, and HMM is defined as holistic margin management. And I'll go into detail about that in a second. So I'm basically, I manage the day-to-day. I also manage the innovation strategy and communications planning, as well as setting financial projections and just overseeing the brand on a day-to-day basis, making sure the lights stay on and managing all elements of the brand. On Helper, I have a more specialized role. So HMM, Holistic Margin Management, basically entails efforts to improve our product margins. So we're very close with R&D and operations. And projects like this kind of are like reformulating for cheaper ingredients, making sure that our operations and supply chain are optimized, making sure that, you know, we're optimizing our production facilities, our trucks can leave at the right time, making sure our packaging is optimized, and making sure that there's no wasted spend on materials and whatnot. So it's very much bottom line focused and focused on the margin. So that's very general management and touches upon a lot of operations and supply chain. I'll talk a little bit about the path to working in food and becoming an associate marketing manager. So at most big consumer good food companies, there's limited options for recent graduates. General Mills is no exception. The only real entry point for someone directly out of undergrad is in a sales role. And sales in the food industry is a little different than how you might traditionally think of a sales role. So in the food space, in the General Mills, sales teams work directly with customers, in this case, customers with retailers that sell General Mills products, to ensure that General Mills products are available on shelf and are merchandised for consumers. So you can really think of it as a strategic partnership with the retailers, and kind of the sales team provides them data and guidance and insight as to you know, how the groceries and the retailers can optimize their sales. So it's very much a strategic partnership, and it's not really like cold calling how you might think of sales. The associate marketing manager role generally requires an MBA degree. At General Mills, this is the case, and at most big food companies, it's similar policy. So my career path is somewhat illustrative of a lot of associate marketing managers, but there's really no one path. They're definitely open to career switchers. But I personally spent 4 years in advertising right at the University of Pittsburgh. I worked in digital strategy and some media management in New York City. And then I got my MBA from the University of Chicago, Blue School of Business from 2016 through 2018. I served as a marketing intern at Dick's Sporting Goods the summer of 2017. And I re-recruited my second year at Booth. And I ended up as an associate marketing manager at General Mills. So here's my contact information. You can feel free to reach out via my General Mills email, my personal Gmail. Feel free to add me on LinkedIn. And I'm also a participant in the Pitt Business Mentoring Match, which I'll go into more detail on the next slide. So the Mentoring Match is a database of over 600 alumni who are volunteering to help Pitt students. You can search by company, keywords, location, and more. And as a final bullet point says, the alumni want help. I'm really happy to talk to you, provide guidance about working in food, working in General Mills, getting an MBA, really any way I can help, happy to do so. Pitt has been very helpful to advance my own personal career, and I definitely want to pay it forward to all you people. So please feel free to reach out. Happy to help any way I can.